Sparky 111 here, and this is an amateur how-to video, or maybe a how not to video. You decide. Okay, so Sparky 111, doing something I never have done before. I decided to scoop the neck extension on this, the lower 520 mandolin. These are frets that are so small as to be unusable, and they really interfere with the picking because there's not enough room to pick between the bridge and the extension. Well-known issue with F-style mandolins. So I just read some stuff online and thought I'd give it a try rather than try to find a luthier and pay them to do this. I think I can do it. So I taped off the surface with painter's tape, including outlining where the bridge was. Bridge just sits on there with string pressure. So I can put the bridge back like it was. Loosened the strings, didn't even take them off. Took some measurements, the height between the surface of the instrument and the top of this neck. And so it's almost 3/4 of an inch. So I found these 1x4s, and they're pretty much exactly what I needed. Again, learned it online. So the first thing you have to do, what I'm doing is scooping out, let's see, these frets are 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I think I'm going to leave about 20, 12, 13, 14, I think I'm going to leave about 23 frets, maybe 22. So everything from here back, I'm going to remove the frets and use this Black & Decker Dremel type thing and a router bit to scoop this, remove the frets, scoop the wood, make this about half as thick as it is, so I won't have any more useless frets here. I won't destroy the look of the mandolin because we'll still have this extension. Yet, when I pick the strings, the pick will no longer hit the fretboard, causing pick, click. And so I saw that it's helpful when removing the frets to heat them up, which heats the fret glue up and makes them easier to come out. I don't have a fret snipper or tool, but I already did this with a soldering gun. I already removed one fret. You can see I removed one fret. And it was very easy, very easy. So this is how I did it. Just trying to melt the glue underneath. Taking some regular wire cutters. The last one just lifted right out. I see that this one's not gonna. Oh, almost got it. Look at there. One fret. See you. So, now you can call me Sparky 111, the fret puller. Or don't. I'm just running this soldering iron tip up and down along that fret. Maybe it'll heat the fret wire enough to heat the glue underneath. Make it a little bit easier to pull out without breaking nothing. Again, this is not for everyone, and I have no idea what I'm doing, just so you know. And there's another fret. Man, this is working like a champ. Don't try this at home, kids. I'm only doing it because I'm old and I have no fear. Even when I should have fear. And I couldn't find one YouTube video of anyone doing this. So now there is. I'm real curious to see how the routing goes. Reason being is that I have never routed in my life. Done a lot of things, never routing. And so I just practiced for a couple of minutes on a spare piece of wood. And I think I get the concept. One more. This is so easy. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20, 21, 22. Trying to decide whether I have a use for threat number 23 or not. That's right where the fretboard widens out a little bit. Just trying to anticipate any problems with routing or sanding or I mean, if all this works out and I absolutely have to have that next one, I'll do it again. But just from my experience, all I need going is about that. That should be plenty. So I unplugged the soldering gun so it'll get cool, reduce the chance of me burning my house down. So now I just went to HD and got this Dremel 565 collar and a 1/4 inch router bit. You know, what I'd seen on the internet was getting the down cut bits, and I studied those. I couldn't find any, so I think this router bit will work. My plan is to cut from here back, cut the white binding, make it about half as thick as it is right now. That should be plenty for the pick to clear it. The fretboard is about 5/8 of an inch from the surface of the instrument, and this binding is about 3/16 thick. So ultimately, I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off of this, which will bring the top of the scoop 1/2 an inch off the instrument. So it'll be taking 1/8 of an inch off. I can't do that all with a router. I'm just hoping that I can route this without shattering my instrument and breaking my fingers and destroying the entire fretboard. I'm going to take off a total of 1/8. So I'm going to start with routing it a total of 1/16. The wood slightly higher than the neck. So now I need to get a measurement on how much higher. That is about 3/32. That's a 1/16 and a half for those of you who are uneducated. Trying to figure out how to make this distance the same on this side as it is on this side. So when I route it, this router base is going to be sitting on these pieces of wood, and if they're not even with this, my routing's not going to be a uniform depth all the way across. Again, not even sure that it matters. I'm the last person, or the only person that'll ever put a tape measure on it, so I don't think anybody's going to care. I wonder if I'm doing this right. What do you think? No idea. I have no idea. I'm just going to start. How about that? Start on low. Are you with me? Are you nervous? I'm nervous. You should be nervous for me, because I'm nervous. I've never routed, and I've never destroyed a musical instrument, so this may be first all the way around. Here we go, baby. I cannot believe I'm doing it. Yes, he is sure enough doing it though. Is smoking a good sign? So, look, it worked. I can't even tell you how happy that makes me that I didn't destroy my instrument. Going down another 1/16. Yeah, it's taken off in about another 1/16, more or less. I think it'll more or less turn out the way I want it, more or less. Again, as long as I don't, destroy the instrument and all, that'll be great. can feel my picking already improved. See how much material I took off of there. But it's pretty rough right now. Rough and ugly. I think sanding might be in order. So what I have is sandpaper, 220, 400, 800, 100. I have one of these and I hate these things. I don't know, man. I'm not really a professional sander guy, but these just seem weird to me. Just trying to smooth this out and make it look pretty. That's all I want to do. I wonder if a Dremel sanding wheel would be better. Probably would. Look, ooh. I wonder if this will work. Thing is also that it's not even down to the fret holes yet. I'm gonna try this more. 80 grit. So, still not down there. Try this again. Ah, that and scar. Still not down to the bottom of the fretboard. Trying to make the fret lines go away. I just screwed up my mandolin. What about this? .400 grit sandpaper. I'm upset that I ruined the finish. Am I crying? No. Maybe later. Now, going to 800. This thing is so thin, wouldn't take much to snap it off. But it's not in the way. I don't think it'll ever be a problem because it doesn't stick out. Not something you're going to accidentally hit. Not perfect, but see how thin it is on that side? What are you going to do? Nothing now. Man, pretty proud of myself right about now. I was Googling something to clean the fretboard. First, something to clean the frets themselves. They look kind of nasty. Something to clean the fretboard. Yeah, man, I screwed up the finish. See what I did? Oh, I'm sad. I am sad. I didn't really find anything for cleaning frets, so I just rubbed them with a little 800 sandpaper, and it really got them clean. And then I Googled cleaning fretboard, and mostly clean dry cloth. I don't have any mineral spirits. I don't have any official cleaning crap either. I've got some guitar cleaning stuff for the finished part. I'm not going to use that on this fretboard. Really, it doesn't need it. It looks pretty good, man. It looks very good, actually, to me. It looks factory. If the factory did that, that's what it would look like, more or less. Except for my ding that I made with that little Dremel sanding wheel. Okay, so now I'm going to restring it. I left this tape, which is marks where the bridge goes. Bigger slots are on this end. I took a picture of it to be sure, but my phone is busy recording this. Forgot this little piece of felt. Goes in here to keep the strings from laying on the metal tailpiece. So I did the high string up top. Now I'm going to do the low string on the bottom. So this will be enough to keep the bridge in place. And I might check the intonation while I'm at it. Yeah, so just tuning. And my intonation, this is the lower 520 LM 520 VS, and this is the way I got this. Bought it used on the reverb about a month ago, and I changed the crusty old strings. Now here I'm back. When we last visited our amateur mandolin fretboard scooper, he was just starting to restring it and place the bridge where my tape was, and intonation right on. So intonation on the lower 520, right on. So I've got on all the strings except for working on the last one right now. I was checking this because when I got this mandolin, again used, first time I went to take the crusty old strings off of it, these screws that hold the tuning peg into the bass, these screws are 1/8 of an inch long, and I lost one. It fell out. I lost it. And guess what? Nobody sells it. Looked in the forums, and I found suitable screws at an old-timey Ace Hardware that had all the screw bins. A really nice guy, I wish I got his name, but he worked with me for about a half an hour to find what I needed. Couldn't get a screw 1/8 inch long, but I got one 1/4 inch long and a couple of little nuts to make it fit. And then it kept falling apart again, and I had to put a little dab of super glue in there to keep it from unwinding every time I turned the key. And so looks a little different, but don't care. Wouldn't have done that with a 1940s Gibson F5, but that's not what this is. Again, wouldn't have scooped I wouldn't have scooped the fretboard on an F5 either, or anything that would have had classic value, collector value. Hey, look, Mom, I can pick now. Watch this. I mean, again, I'm only been playing mandolin about a month. Guitar, 50 years, mandolin, a month. But look, what I did first was, oh, I forgot to take this off. This particular piece of painter's tape was not to protect the finish, but it was to mark the position of the bridge so I could put it back when I was done. First thing I did in the way of modifications when I got this was this little corner right here, digging into my hand when I picked, and so I sanded it off. I'm sorry, not that, this one right here. This is a kind of a straight corner. I cornered that one off, and now I got this one. I did this perfectly. Well, that's one way to do it. I would like to mention that I did spend a lot of time sanding my modification, going back and forth with the different grades of sandpaper. Total elapsed time for the project was about 3 hours. And I remember that place where I nicked the finish, right under the fretboard. You can see that nick right there, but I hit it with a black Sharpie, and you can't really tell. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching.